What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This video we're looking at the NFL Draftkings and Fanduel Sunday main slate picks. We have a 12-gamer on Draftkings, 13 games on Fanduel. Already next week, a few teams are starting their bye week, so we have 12 games this week on DK. Let's go ahead and get into it. Last week, put in Jawan Jennings, had a really good week. Ended up fitting him in both spots, so good week last week. See if I can keep it going on this one. As always, if you enjoy the videos, please hit the like button, subscribe if you have not already. You can check out the link if you want the full picks. Follow on Twitter/X. It's at the DFS process. So starting off at the quarterback position, just looking at some of the games to target this week. There's two that have semi-high totals. There's two games that are above 46 points total. That is the Bengals-Panthers. You got Andy Dalton revenge spot here in Carolina. And then you also have the afternoon game between the Commanders and the Cardinals. That one is approaching 50. It's 49.5 total. So if you're looking at some just obvious picks to target, those are some good games to start with. We have some injury news at the quarterback position that we're waiting on, but quarterbacks to have my eye are Jaden Daniels, once again at $6,500, having a really, really good season. Completed 70% of his passes all 3 weeks. He gives you a lot of opportunities to run on the ground, 10+ rushing attempts in each of the first 3 games. There's no Austin Eckler. Maybe that makes him run a little bit more. But going into Arizona, he looks really good. Same thing with Kyler Murray if you want to pay up for $300 more. He's been really good this season. Another guy that doesn't run maybe as much, but he can have big games on the ground as well. Give you a rushing touchdown. He has a true #1 receiver with Marvin Harrison this year. He's looking really good. And overall, even though they're missing McBride, it maybe makes it easier to stack him with Harrison, or even go with the cheap tight end that's going to take McBride's spot. Then Hurts is up to 72, is fine, but he's missing He's missing Smith already. Maybe he'll be missing A.J. Brown, so I don't think I need to get up to Jalen Hurts this week. Right now I'm putting in Jaden Daniels at $6,500. And then looking down a little bit here in the 5K range, I like Andy Dalton at 53. If you want to take him, little revenge spot. Going up against the Bengals. He looked really, really good in the first start against the Raiders. The matchup here is against a Bengals team that is desperate for a win. Their defense hasn't been amazing. So I think at 53, he looks like a guy that you can target as well. Looking at the running back spots, top end running back pick is Saquon Barkley. No Smith, potentially no A.J. Brown. Eagles are on a bye week next week, so maybe they hold out A.J. Brown for one more week. You're going to see Saquon be heavily involved after a first half where he only had, I think, 4 carries. They really made a focus to get him the ball in the second half, and he ended up bursting out that big run, 65-yarder, and then made some big plays down the stretch to get the win. So I like him at $8,000. Like him a little bit more than Breece Hall against Denver. You have the Colts in a tough spot against Pittsburgh. I'm not looking at Taylor too much this week. Kamara's questionable. We'll see if he misses. Then you can load up on like Jamal Williams and go with a cheaper route at running back that way. Mixon is questionable. We'll see if he misses again. Then Akers looks like a good play. You have 6K range. James Conner, Mason look like fine value picks. 5K range, Ford. I'm not really looking at Steele at that price tag. I think there's better picks now. And then obviously, like I said, if Akers gets to start, he looks like a good play. But at running back, I'm going to pay up for Saquon, make him the focus point. Eagles going into Tampa Bay. Bucks defense has not been good against the run this year or against the pass. And Saquon is dangerous. He can give you 25 touches this week, especially if A.J. Brown misses. And then we know Austin Eckler is out, so I'm going to be looking to get to Brian Robinson at 61. He should get more touches, maybe 5 to 10, maybe around 5 more touches, I'd say. Get some more involved in the receiving game, which would be good for PPR sites like DraftKings. Matchup is going to be a high total game against the Cardinals. Gets end zone opportunities. I like Brian Robinson this week. Wide receiver, you have Justin Jefferson up to 87. It's fine. I don't think he's a must-play at that price tag. You have Jamar Chase, who finally broke out last week. Another game that has a high total, one of only a couple. You have Marvin Harrison at 75 if you want to just full stack this game. Another week where he got up to 11 targets, so targets continue to increase. Volume is there. Matchup is good. No Devontae Adams, but the matchup isn't amazing against the Browns. Smith is out. Brown misses, then you got a lot of Eagles value picks to look to here. Paris Campbell at 3,000 flat would be a really good cheap savings. John Dotson is 5K. I probably like Campbell more at the minimum. But I'm going to start with going to Nico Collins at 72. So there is no Tank Dell this week, so it's going to be focused on Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs for CJ Stroud. Stroud looked bad last week. The whole offense really didn't get anything going. They got blown out against the Vikings. Nico still had a okay. He didn't kill you if you played him at 13 fantasy points. Obviously not great, but 10 targets is encouraging. And matchup against Jacksonville, they've been terrible defensively. Offensively, they've been struggling too. I like Houston to bounce back with a big offensive performance this week. See if Debo's able to play. They initially thought he'd miss a couple weeks, but there's a chance he'll be back this week, which is good. So if he plays, that makes Ayuk look less appealing. Jennings look less appealing. If he misses again, then you can look to those guys. But George Kittle is expected to play this week. And then for a value pick, I'm going to Deontay Johnson. He has a Q tag right now, but I think he'll play. He said he's just cautionary. He did practice limited Friday. And without Adam Thielen, he's going to be the main guy for Andy Dalton. So finally having a good quarterback. He put up great production. The whole offense looked good with putting up 36 points. He had 14 targets. Dalton is a guy that is a quarterback that will take shots downfield, get his receivers involved, thread the needle a little bit. So I like Deontay Johnson, 56. That's a good value pick. You have 73 if you want to pay up a little bit more for Rashee Rice. That game has a below 40-point total, but he's going to get the targets from Mahomes. And then 58 for Terry McLaurin, I think looks like a good value pick as well if you want to stack up the Commanders this week. Colors, you have Stephon Diggs, good mid-range play if you don't want to get up to Nico Collins. And then, like I said, the value pick right now, I'm not sure if A.J. Brown will play. I think the Eagles could be cautious with him, so I'm throwing in Paris Campbell right now. If he does play, maybe you can upgrade to like the wide receiver 3 on the Panthers, which is going to be Mingo. He could be a decent play, but I'm going to be putting in Paris Campbell right now just to get you some savings. You can pay up a little bit more at tight end or at the flex spot or a little bit at defense, but he's going to be lining up in all receiver sets. 3 receiver sets, and then if he could get the start on the outside and get 80% of the snaps this week. So he's had some good games back when he was with the Colts. Gets opportunity with the Eagles this week, so throw ahead and put him in there. So that's what I got right now. There's some injury news that we're waiting on for these spots. At tight end, I like getting to Goddard if you want to at 51. Pay up for him. Kittle, 55 if Debo misses. And then you got some guys that are out, so like McBride is out, so you have $3,100 for they're starting. It might be, Higgins. For Elijah Higgins, going to be starting in place of McBride if you want to go that route. So he'd probably be the best cheap option right now. Defenses, looking down here, cheap defenses. If no Kamara, then maybe you take a shot on the Falcons. You could take a shot on the Broncos just because they're talented on that side. And Jets have been up and down this year offensively. I mean, they've been better the last few weeks, but they still could struggle to move the ball a little bit at times. And then Patriots, if the 49ers continue to be banged up, pay up defenses. If no love, then Vikings, 29. They've been awesome on that side, putting up huge games. Pay up a little bit more. You got the Bears against a banged up Rams team. You got the Steelers against Anthony Richardson, who's making some mistakes. And that's pretty much it for DraftKings. That's what I got. Let's go ahead and take a look at FanDuel. Right, over on FanDuel, these are the picks that I have plugged in here. Same at the quarterback position, sticking with Jaden Daniels at $8,200. I mean, the other quarterbacks like Hurts and Kyler Murray are the other two that look appealing if you want to pay up a little bit. Go down a little to Burrow, but it doesn't give you that rushing upside like the other 3 guys do. And then value-wise, I think Dalton you can still take a shot on at $7,000. He's cheap. He's going to take shots and stack him with Deontay Johnson pretty easily. Running back, Saquon's price tag is much higher than it is on DraftKings, almost $10K, so it might be tougher to get to him. Same thing with Jordan Mason. He's not really a good value pick on FanDuel at that price tag. I'm sticking with Brian Robinson. I like his price at $73. And then I like Zach Moss at $69. Great matchup against the Panthers. High total game. They struggle against the run. And his snap counts have been increasing. Started off, about getting 2/3 of the carries week 1, and then, or 2/3 of the snaps, and went up to 80% week 2, 76% last week. And if you get him 15 to 20 touches this week against the Panthers defense. He's the guy that gets you passes, gives you some touchdown upside, and Burrow's going to give him some checkdowns. So he's trying to come along. I like his price below 7,000. Wide receivers, sticking with Nico Collins, Deontay Johnson over on FanDuel. Johnson's price looks really nice at 62. If you look at other guys that are in his price range, you have kind of like Naylor and Reed and Adunze and guys that are a little bit more hit or miss. I think Johnson with Dalton there will get some consistent volume of targets with some upside to get into the end zone. Still looking at Nico Collins as a guy in the mid 7K range that I like a little bit more than Wilson, but then Ayuk definitely more than him. Just a guy that's consistent, and he's going to get more volume without Tank Dell this week. And then I like McLaurin at 65, another guy in that price range where gives you a ton of upside. We saw what the coach said last week. They're going to get him involved, and they did take some deep shots with him. And another good spot to take some shots against Arizona here. Should be a shootout type of affair, and his price looks really nice at mid 6,000. So things are going to change a little bit if we get some injury news to some other key pieces. If you want to take a shot on Paris Campbell's price, he's only 51, but I like him more on DraftKings at 3,000. A little bit easier to hit value there. Tight end wise, Goddard will be tough to get to at 75. They don't even have the backup for the Cardinals tight end on here on their site, so you're probably looking at like Komet or Schultz. Some value picks here. Henry, maybe going down to Zach Ertz. And then defense, same type of defenses that I mentioned. I like the Steelers, $4,500. Go down to the Bears a little bit. Below 4,000, you have the maybe taking a shot on like the Broncos, like I mentioned over on DraftKings. They're super cheap. The Patriots, depending on the 49ers injury news. So that's what I got for my sites, for my updated, for my first look at the picks for this Sunday. Best of luck if you are going to be using some of these picks. Let me know if you have any questions or if you have some other guys that you like, and I will catch you all next time.